Hey there, folks. What's up? I'm Aaron. I'm here with my co-host, Zach.
What's up?
You're listening to A to Z Podcast, episode 63.
Today's guest is Chris Presley, local artist.
It's like they're trying to be too meta.
We're gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah. You can buy you a drink. You can't just well, I mean, he did pick out somebody we know.
Well, you sidestepped the question. That technology does not exist. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking us out. A to Z is a Southeast Texas local podcast with new episodes out weekly on all major podcast platforms.
Show notes can be found on a2zpodcast.com, but you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram where we post updates, clips, and extra content.
And also, don't forget about those groups we got going. We have A to Z Podcast group on Facebook and A to Z Movie Night, the groupening, where you can get at us.
Yeah. So today we're talking to Chris Presley. He is an old friend of ours.
Yeah, funny story about it is when we started this in the beginning and we definitely didn't have our shit together, we asked Chris to come on and do an interview, and it was a great interview on his part, but we didn't necessarily know what we were doing.
Yeah, it's kind of rambling.
So we just nixed it, and it hasn't come back around until now, and we did this thing, and it's a good thing we did because he has a lot more going on than he did then. The mural project downtown started happening, and he has like the biggest one down there with the herons. You know,
I think it's 17 feet tall.
Yeah, it's huge. So
we'll get into that though. We'll get into that and a couple other things. We talk about art. Maybe I think we talk about a little bit.
We talk about art, talk about the processes, stuff like that, mindset. You know,
and where he got his inspiration. Okay, so if you like this show, we want to hear from you. Feedback at a2zpodcast.com. Leave some reviews and comments on our socials. Send us an email. Send us anything. Talk to us. And enjoy this episode with Chris Presley.
Went to college, studied art. To be an artist, make a start. Studied hard, gained my degree. But no one seemed to notice me. Paint a man, paint a man.
Really good at impressions.
Yeah.
I've heard him do quite a few. He did a.
he does another one really well too.
I think he does all the Toast of London guys.
Oh yeah,
Rodney Dangerfield. That's the one that I heard him perfect.
that's a hard one to do.
Yeah, and Norm Macdonald. He does Norm pretty good.
You just got to get like a cadence for Norm Macdonald, kind of a nasally little cadence.
Well, welcome to A-Z.
Is that where we're just gonna start it in on that?
Yeah, I liked it with the music fading in a little bit. It's kind of,
Oh, you had designs.
It had some nice touches there.
yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and tell him who's here, Zach.
Chris Presley is here. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Chris Presley is a local artist. What kind of you do, like mixed media or mostly like painting?
I do like illustration and painting pretty like even-handedly.
Yeah. So Chris does a lot. You've been painting in the scene for a long time. You've done shows at High Street.
Yeah, at High Street Gallery, and I've been in some shows at the art studio.
Yeah, and you've been doing it a while. We've been friends with you a long time. Actually, we interviewed you before at the house.
About a year and a week or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
it was when we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
So
it was fun.
Yeah, I think we just talked like we bounced through like 100 different rabbit holes and talked politics. And I think it was fun, but
didn't it turn into like a poker game at the end?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I can't remember. Like I know it was in your living room. Like
yeah. No, it was my kitchen.
Kitchen is like dining room area.
Yeah. But we wanted to get you on the biggest thing that you've been working on lately, and no pun intended with the big. But you're working on you're doing a mural. You're part of the Beaumont Little Beautification mural movement.
Yep.
Yeah, so
doing a mural downtown.
Yeah. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Or welcome back to the show.
Yeah. Either or.
So why don't you?
Oh wait, I am on every single episode though. Your intro.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You certainly are.
You want to mimic it?
It's like too meta, dude.
No, that's not it.
Oh man, I can't remember.
They're trying to be too meta.
It's like they're trying to be too meta.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good Presley impression you have there.
I consider myself a professional.
Very good. Very good.
No, I really love that happened like that. Like that kind of, it was kind of serendipitous in a way. You know?
I'm glad that little clip did end up being on the intro because that episode was never released.
Yeah.
So it's kind of mysterious. It's like, oh, what is
Oh,
that?
they're waiting for it.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
never get it.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, wait,
this
no,
is-
they just
Mitch
did.
just did. Now I'm going to take the audio from this.
They
and
got the
put it
scoop,
in
see?
the new intro.
Redact it.
Yeah. So why don't you explain a little bit like the kind of work that you do?
Okay, so I do like illustration, like really weird, bizarre stuff. Like I got a paint or a drawing for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a castle with arm leg things
You want me to grab it
coming out of it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll grab it. We'll take a picture with it
Yeah.
a little later.
Yeah.
You know.
It's but like that's kind of usually in the vein that I work when I'm like just doodling stuff on my own. Is
Black
like,
and white, 2D.
What was
Black
the,
and- yeah,
what was
black
the
and white.
inspiration for the house on Spider Hands?
I just kind of want to see it like running, like all those arms, 8 arms moving underneath a castle. Like I don't know.
Did you watch like a lot of like fantasy and stuff?
Oh
growing up?
yeah. I used to watch like Monster Rancher, and you never seen Monster Rancher?
Mm-mm. What's
oh
that?
man, it's a pretty good show that happened probably in the early, maybe late 90s. It was a cartoon show where these guys like capture these like creatures in discs or something, or they
Like-
release them
Like
from
in
discs or something.
Pokeballs?
It's like almost
Monster Hunter isn't that what Pokemon means?
No, I said Monster Ranch.
Oh,
Monster Rancher. It's like close to the new video game Monster
Hunter. Yeah, okay.
but it's like it's
You got to catch them
it's a
all.
cartoon
huh?
show. Not really. It's more like saving the earth from these like
Let's destroy them.
yeah. You got to like destroy these monster things that have popped up everywhere. It's been a long time, but like. Those were the types of shows that I watched when I was a really little kid, like with
Yeah.
these bizarre creatures, and also like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and Gundam Wing.
And you think that's the influence that you get in a lot of your work that you do?
Oh, that's where I started
That's where
at.
you started drawing those?
Yeah, that's where I started drawing at when I was like a little kid watching these shows, like coming up with my own Gundams and shit like
Yeah.
that, or like my version of a Dragon Ball Z character or
Yeah.
something like that.
So your early inspiration was the Fantastic.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like I read the Hobbit when I was, I don't know, like 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I started with fantasy.
Would you
And,
try?
like, I
Would you try to put down on a page like things from the book? Would you try to like illustrate
Oh yeah,
the things they weren't?
Yeah.
That was a cool thing about some of those books I read when I was a kid too. Is they didn't have any illustrations.
yeah.
And there really wasn't a lot floating around because it was the early days of the internet. So I remember trying to like, doodle down what
Yeah,
I thought
definitely.
it was. Yeah.
Actually, Legend of Zelda. I got the game guide for Christmas
Okay.
for what is the
Like Ocarina of Time. Or
yeah,
something?
Ocarina of Time. And
I
they
I
have-
doodled those too,
Yeah.
like all the illustrations.
yeah,
in
I
there.
would practice
Mhm.
with those, like
I did the same
King
thing.
Dodongo and shit like that.
and the Zoras and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that. That's what I would practice with, like simple.
It's good
animation.
practice. It's practice for like proportions and
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
But since then, I've like brought it into like in high school, as most kids do, that brought it into the macabre world.
Oh right.
Yeah, like bloody pig heads and stuff like that. Like, you just put it on a page, you're okay.
Yeah. You're like, we're all gonna die one day. What's
It's
the
like
purpose?
just very scratchy, just drawings and shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On notebooks with
Every
the,
shade.
Oh, man, you
lines,
should
yeah.
see my French notebook. It's covered, like, cover to cover in all sorts of weird shit.
You just have hatch shading that looks violent.
Yeah. This is when MCR was really popular.
I don't think. Wait, were you one of the ones that we talked to? I don't think, because I remember it because we interviewed you and I think we got into it. But do you grow up religious, super religious?
Oh, yeah. Super religious. Yeah. I wasn't allowed to listen to non-secular music. Or no, I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music until I was like 15 or something. And at that point, I had to print out the lyrics of all the songs on an album before my parents would let me buy it.
Yeah.
And what age was this? Wait, what?
That was until I was like 15 years old. And so like before that, I always had to listen to Christian music.
Well, you didn't have no Tupac when you were growing up?
No. Oh, my parents would, I don't know, send me to boot camp or something like that if they found me listening to that.
Tupac. I remember my parents trying to. It was when Eminem was popular, That first album came out, and
Yeah.
and they, I guess they heard about him on the radio, and like for like maybe a month they tried to stop us from listening to this kind of music. It didn't last very long. I think they realized it was dumb, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Wow, I just now realized how free my childhood was. My parents didn't give a damn.
I mean, they each have their benefits.
I broke off hard. I dove into Bad Religion.
Oh, I got you.
And whatever, like other punk shit. Like I was listening to a lot of punk, like the Casualties and Germ Circle, or Germ, and like other shit like that. Like, and then like I brought my taste back to like, you know, regular human status.
So wait a minute.
So we were over here, then slingshot to the other direction.
Yeah.
And then kind of.
Yeah, gradually came back to humanhood.
Yeah, so what did your parents think of things like Zelda? You said you had the game guide, so I know you must have had the game.
Well, like my parents, like, you know, they grew up with like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia, and so like they were just like grouped them all together.
They were adamant about PG things.
Yeah,
but it wasn't necessarily like, because I know there's a lot of people around here kind of had the same experience when they grew up, where it was like when Pokemon came out, they were like, Pastor said them's are some demons, and you cannot play with them, even though it's PG. So at least you weren't that far. I guess.
I was allowed to watch Pokemon, but when Harry Potter came out,
you were allowed to watch Pokemon, because I remember in church they told us that it was of the devil.
Well, I wasn't allowed to watch it when it first came out.
Sure,
and like I think my parents had to watch a few episodes of it before they
realized this isn't going to taint him.
Yeah. Then my parents, like, you know, Harry Potter came out.
But Harry Potter is of the occult, though.
Yeah,
that is
my
a cult.
parents
Literal
are pretty
witches,
sure bought like books.
Really?
And like to get rid of.
Bought books so they could burn them.
But then like a few years later, my mom like had a friend that was like, maybe you should actually read Harry Potter, and she did, and she was like, okay, I'll let my children read it.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
That's good. So
that was a really successful campaign, though. Let's buy all these books off the shelves so the kids can't buy them.
Yeah.
Then they will
really?
they will definitely not get popular.
That's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Oh, that's so silly.
Yeah, man.
So how did your art feed into all this? Like, is that what I mean? Do you find that influenced it in some way?
With the repression?
Oh,
The
probably.
repression, maybe?
I would say so.
Because your art, the way
it's like an escapist.
your art kind of breaks boundaries in a kind of way. And I'm not trying to make that like this huge.
It's not trying to butter your balls or anything.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, it's different. It stands out in a way to me, and I'm not too artsy, you know. Like I look at cool stuff, but it reminds me of some really. I mean, I don't know, it sticks out, and it seems like maybe. Do you think there's something from that?
I would say that, like with the punk music, when I got away from religion, I went like really deep into doing really dark stuff all the time, like deep shadows, a lot of negative space and stuff like that. Like, and yeah, I would say like drawing is what I did when I was trying to get away from a situation. So because I was like always having to do stuff that I didn't want to do, I would just draw and not be having to like, you know, be here and focus on what's going on. Yeah, escapism. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's.
What genre would you put your style in?
I
don't know. I mean, I don't know art genres either, but
graphic surreal. I don't know, something like that. Like, you know.
Yeah, surrealism. I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but not like disembodied, sort of. You know, not formless, sort of. Not abstract, but not.
Not abstract. I would say like I'm pretty literal when it comes to what I'm drawing. Like I if I'm drawing a person, I want to make sure that it looks exactly like
it has
a person.
The proportions,
and
it's all
like
accurate.
And then I'll like go off of that base into something else.
Sure.
Like it usually starts with a mistake, because I usually work in ink. Like I don't have a chance for a second take, so I just like have to change it as I go.
Right.
Like I have a semi-solid idea. Like after I've drawn like an eyeball or something,
you'll kind of just rough it out.
Yeah, I don't rough it out. I just draw like an eyeball and then imagine what else I could be around
so
it.
You just start with ink. No pencil.
Nope.
You're not into taking back mistakes.
No, I'm not.
You're into running with it. I like that. That's ballsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's.
You're not like that with your murals, though. You sketch out your murals.
I have to do that.
That's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, because the building owner approved a certain design.
Right,
so
Yeah.
that's on the Beaumont Club. It's over by Sugar's.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you see it from Sugar's?
If you are able to get into like that upper patio or whatever, you can see it from there. Like, or if you're like peeking around the corner of the building, you can see it. It's
It was like 18.
It's 14 feet wide by 17 feet tall.
Oh my god.
It's big.
Yeah.
What's it? Do you just have an extension ladder?
Yeah, I just have an extension ladder.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Oh, that's so scary.
Ask any of the other artists in the area, they'll tell you my mural's the biggest. It's the biggest mural
biggest?
downtown.
No, it is not.
Oh, it's not. Oh.
No, it's probably the
Fake
smallest.
news.
Actually,
Fake news. It is the biggest.
it is the tallest though.
It is the tallest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the biggest? The really long one on Calder right now?
Oh, that's not part of the project.
That's that
though.
lady's fence. The lady that's
Oh, that's
painting
the lady's
it,
fence.
She owns that
Oh,
fence.
that's a
It's pretty
private
cool.
citizen. It is cool
Yeah.
though. I like
Well,
it a
she
lot.
does it on Sundays because I'll drive in on Sundays,
Yeah.
and around about the time that I get in, she's out there with her hat, her big
She
hat
does it
on.
leisurely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I love it. Like, it's so awesome. Like, I mean, most people, she's doing it herself, and she's doing a great job. Like, it looks cool.
But you know what though? I don't think she would have done it if it weren't have been for the mural.
Yeah, it was
the
inspiration.
beautification thing. You know, you guys are really setting up the city to like get on its feet, get on its toes, and do stuff.
I hope so.
They're part of the movement, you know. Like,
Yeah.
part of that.
Yeah, I really hope that like some of the building owners like will open up or sign up for these lists to get murals on their buildings because we
'Cause
really
that-
got a good thing going
Yeah,
here.
if you,
I think.
And
so
the
they just have
boxes.
to sign up.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure of the whole process.
So
I
if
really don't know.
I mean, are they paying for them, or is the city paying for it?
The city's paying for it.
Maybe we see if Frankie and let's do a mural on the side.
This isn't the type of building that they would want. Well, let me ask you this. So right now you are kind of being contracted with the city to put this mural on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and that kind of stands in opposition to like graffiti work, right? To graffiti art tags and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you have more respect for what you're doing now, or do you have more respect for graffiti, or is it kind of just a neutral thing where you're like, you know what, let me just do art. I don't care how I do it.
Third option. I really just want to make art. There was a time in my life when I did do a bunch of graffiti, but that has consequences.
if you get caught.
And yeah, I've dealt with ramifications for my actions before, and getting paid to do it is a lot cooler than possibly paying to do it.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
yeah, like I love graffiti art. Like I absolutely love it. I when I see a train passing around here, like on Calder.
So you used to do that a lot more often?
Yeah.
You've lived quite a few different places, though, right? Was that more like whenever you were up north? Where did you live up north?
I lived in Philly and Vermont.
Yeah.
Lived in Philly for 3 years and Vermont for about 2.
Yeah.
So you got in trouble in Vermont, huh?
No,
all those damn white people.
I got in trouble here.
Oh, hey!
But it wasn't for graffiti.
Oh, okay, I got you. That's all good.
So what, you used to like tag trains and shit?
No.
Let me put this out there. If you're a young graffiti artist, please don't tag trains. It's very, very dangerous, and there's a lot more consequences for tagging trains than just somebody's building.
Unless
really
they're designated like for graffiti, which there are some
are there?
trains
Are you
that
serious?
you don't get in trouble for graffiti.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that like
there's
if,
certain companies
if
or
the
something?
train's in the
No,
yard,
no,
you'll
it's
get
like-
in lots of trouble.
It's like unused train lines if they have just like dumped a train
Wow.
there for
okay.
years and
Then
years.
you can do art on them?
Well, I mean, it's probably
Nobody's gonna
still
give a
legal,
shit.
but they just don't.
You just can't
Yeah.
you can't trespass in train yards.
Yeah.
Like that's where you'll get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what's
a bad
funny?
idea.
The last train graffiti piece that I saw that I could actually understand what it said fart.
Hey, actually,
Real
you
talk.
want a cool trick for reading graffiti letters.
Tilt your head.
No, you start from the end of it and you work out the letters from the end to the beginning. So instead of seeing the flow of what they've created,
Try to do it backwards.
you try to look at the individual letters as you go back towards the front.
How does that help?
Yeah, because they have made this flow from the first letter to the last letter. So they've got this whole design and it's meant to be read that way.
Oh,
so
like
you just
from this angle?
identify single letters from the last one forward.
Wow.
It helps you.
Well, it's like the perspective of, because they got to throw it up there quick.
Yeah.
So they're working at it from this angle, so it's meant to be seen from where they're looking at it, up close and like this, right?
They usually
they kind of
correct.
stand back a little bit, maybe, and correct it a little bit, but it's weird. It's I can't read any of them.
Yeah.
But fart.
It takes practice. Just like,
train guy.
audio engineering or art. Yeah, let's take it back.
Okay. Maybe it's time for this. Okay, so Chris is an artist, and you work with a lot of different mediums.
Uh-huh.
And you made a post the other day that said that you were making coffee cups for people.
Mugs on mugs.
Mugs on mugs.
Mugs on mugs.
So is this like a new venture?
What is
that
this?
You're doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to do like $25, and I will put your mug or not on a mug or not, as long as it's like 2.5 inches in diameter. Do it in enamel paint, black and
Christmas.
white.
What you got here?
It's your Christmas present from me.
Oh, is this a Christmas present?
Yeah, it is.
To me?
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of the things that I collect. Well, God damn it, look at that mug. Oh my God, that is the best thing I've ever seen. I can drink out of this.
Yeah, you can.
So for those of you listening, Zach just handed me his Christmas present, which is a coffee mug, which is obviously I love coffee mugs. I had a lot of them in my house, and it is it's a poop selfie of Zach sitting on the toilet in a nice bathroom with lots of tile, and he's just staring fondly at me while I sip right here.
Yep.
But it's Zach pooping. I like the shadow work you have right here between the legs.
Yeah.
The high contrast is good.
They're trying to keep it tasteful,
It's very tasteful. I like it a lot. It's I'm gonna enjoy many cups of coffee out of this mug.
Good. And it is.
He said
it's
machine washable. Right?
It like don't push it with the machine wash.
I don't have a machine anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah, good. Good.
So
for you.
what? Did you paint it and glaze it after that, or what?
No, I used enamel paint. So,
Enamel paint, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Don't
you
put
baked
your
it, I guess?
mouth on it, but yeah, you can put your mouth on the blank side.
Oh, see, that's good.
Oh,
you made it for a right-handed
No, that's
person.
right. You asked me if he was left or right-handed.
You asked me,
Yeah.
so it's on my right hand
He
side.
asked me,
always
or
showing
I
out.
asked him if he wanted it to look out at him or look in at you, and he said he wanted to make sure that everybody saw you drinking out of a Zach pooping mug.
Well, you know what? Hot dog, that is, and it's quite a good likeness, too.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Not bad. I look a little deformed, but I like it.
No, you just look tired.
Is that how you see me, Chris?
It is.
This is
It
how I
is.
see you every day.
Like I said, I don't do rough drafts really. So
Hey, neither did God, bro.
yeah, dude.
Neither did God.
God don't make no trash.
Maybe he did. He did Adam and Eve, and they really fucked up. So.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just think about their children, though.
all of us.
Ugh.
Well, actually, we're sons of Cain.
Well, I'm talking about like their first generation children.
We're,
Sons of Abel, not. Oh wait, no, yeah, Cain
Abel
is
was the one that died,
Yeah.
yeah. And then out of those two sons, we have other things to talk about. So we're going to take this as a moment to step back and relax, and do some advertisement
All
for
right.
a local event, and then we're
All right. Well, y'all come back after the break.
Hi, this is Jake Hooker of Jake A. Hooker, and you're listening to A to Z Podcast. A to Z Podcast is funded in part by our patrons on Patreon. If you would like to support us, head over to patreon.com/A2ZBMT.
Let's go!
you read Latin. Whatever you read.
All All right, you guys, this is our mid-break, our portion where we highlight things going on in the area around you.
Yay.
And Saturday, March 2nd, at the Art Studio, our great friends, we have an event coming up called Capsula Stellis Iter in Nave.
Enter in Nave.
That's Latin, just in case you guys need to know.
Or Half Space Capsule Will Travel. It's an art showing. Join Captain. Oh shit. It's kind of like an art showing party. Jason Miller will be there. Bo Dumas Mill, Karen Dumas Mill. We got Sarah Bellion, who we got the information about this from actually. They're going to be doing an invitational exhibition and art party exploring an alien world in search of exciting new life forms. And artists are invited to contribute a couple of works. They're going to have live specimens, 3D works. They're going to go in a force field containment zone. And then we got
crazy.
Dead specimens, 3D pieces placed in the specimen containment jars or devices. So you got to make some kind of jar. That's kind of really cool.
That sounds like a cool party, dude.
Yeah, and then artistic representations of specimens, 2D folks. This one's for you. Alien life forms that either could not capture or were too much of a pain in the ass to keep on board. Sci-fi steampunk cosplay. Our costuming is especially welcome. Works need to be received will be received from 10 to 6 p.m. Friday, February 22nd until Monday, February 25th. So some of the works may not be exhibited, but there's going to be free beer. I know that for sure.
And also, it will be like probably your last chance to
see Sarah Bellion.
Yeah, if you really liked the first episode that we did with her,
or the next episode that's coming out next week.
That's coming out. Yeah. This will be like your last chance. Go ask her some questions before she moves to Hawaii.
Yeah. So stay tuned on this break portion. We got we got some reader emails to read to you. All right, Aaron. So I guess our asking people to email us has kind of worked out in some kind of way because we got a really cool email.
Oh yeah, we've been asking for months and months, you guys, to talk to us. Any feedback or whatever, we would appreciate it. Yeah.
So we got a cool email, and apparently it's from a new listener, so that's good. It's from a guy named Shane Landry.
That sounds familiar.
And Shane writes, "Okay, so I'm an avid podcast listener at work. One earbud in all day, listening to multiple podcasts in multiple genres. Earlier this week, I believe it was on David Poole's Instagram page, I saw him post something about y'all and decided to check y'all out. First, that Jape episode was one of the hardest podcasts I ever listened to."
Hardest? Meaning to follow? Or?
Yeah, to listen to.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but I like local, so I didn't give up on y'all. Thank you. He then goes, "I just started listening to the Blake Sticker episode. And y'all were saying nobody ever knows any good Thibodeau and Boudreaux jokes. So here you go." And he did in parentheses, "Make sure it's read in a Cajun accent." So I'm going to do my best Cajun accent.
This is going to be cringy.
"So Thibodeau and Boudreaux are the best of friends. Every day after work, Thibodeau goes to Boudreaux's house and they have them a couple of beers. Well, one day Thibodeau shows up and Boudreaux's on the front porch with tears in his eyes. Thibodeau says, 'Brah, man, what's wrong?' Boudreaux tells him, 'Every day when I get home, my belle is waiting for me with dinner on the table and asks how work was. Today when I get here, she ain't home. I call her friends, I call her mama, and ain't nobody seen her.' Thibodeau says, 'Boudreaux, you sit here and wait and call me if she get home. Me and the boys are going to form up a posse and go find your wife.' So about 3 hours later, Thibodeau gets back and said, 'Boudreaux, my friend, I got some good news and I got some bad news. What you want to hear first?' He says, 'Bro, give me the bad news.' So Thibodeau says, 'We found your wife. She was floating face down in the bayou. I'm sorry, friend, she dead.' Boudreaux goes, 'Oh, Thibodeau, that's horrible. How can there possibly be anything good about this?' Thibodeau responds, 'Bro, she had about a dozen of them big blue crabs hanging on her. We're going to run her again in the morning.'"
Oh, jeez.
Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for making a local podcast and keep up the great work, guys. I look forward to listening.
Wow, that's a harsh joke. All right,
no, it's great.
That's a good one.
It's great. Thank you, Shane. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, appreciate the feedback, dude.
Yeah, if anybody else has anything to chime in on or say or anything like that, dude, send us an email. It's feedback@a2zpodcast.com, or you can DM us or anything. We love it, and we'll read it on the show. Thank you so much, Shane, and we'll get back to the show or whatever we're doing now.
J'habite d'être un traînailleur et un buveur, et c'est pour ça que toi tu comprends, maman.
think so. Kind of like horse thieving is still punishable by hanging.
Can you imagine,
In some
like,
states.
can you imagine, like somebody like facing off with Ted Cruz in a duel on the lawn of the White House or some shit, or
Dude,
Texas
I would-
Capitol?
Dude, what if Ted
I would
Cruz
love
is a
to
really
fight
good
Ted
shot?
Cruz.
He's a sharpshooter, man. I'm sure.
I'm not gonna get into it. I would
He's a
love to fight him
triathlete. He
though.
can ski and whatever else they do, hike,
Yeah.
and then shoot. I mean, he is a Zodiac
Yeah.
killer. That's
Yeah.
true.
I want a senator that I can shoot beers with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, like George W. Bush?
Yeah.
Did George? Yeah. Was he a drinking man?
I mean, that was just the whole thing. It's like, oh,
He's one of us.
He's a guy you can have a beer with, man.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'd have a beer with him.
You know what's funny is like as time goes on,
I would definitely have a beer with him. Honestly.
and the
Oh, yeah,
older
that sounds fun.
the older I get, and as more time goes on, and more examples of like corruption and all that stuff happens, the more and more I grow to like George W. Bush. Like I think George W. Bush is kind of like an all right guy now. Now that I'm older and
He's
everything,
a
and
puppet.
he's just he's just a nice old man.
Yeah, he was a puppet, but he's all
Yeah.
like I
He wasn't. But the thing is, like he doesn't. I don't think he really has any malice in him.
would say that
He's
no,
also-
I wouldn't-
he's
What do you
like-
think of his paintings? Now that we're on the subject, you're an artist.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's pull some up. Let's pull some
So
up.
I
They're pretty
read
good.
I read this interesting article, or well, maybe it was a meme. I don't know, a long meme, short article somewhere in there. But it was saying that they saying that George W. Bush's new artworks of veteran soldiers could be considered a what do you call
It's all
that?
portraits, right? He does.
Yeah,
portrait
yeah.
works,
They called it possibly the greatest conceptual art of all mankind because he sent these people to go die in Iraq,
Oh God!
and now he is painting them.
Oh my God!
So
oh my God!
if it was
Oh, he
orchestrated,
did Putin.
oh yeah, look at that.
Wow.
I like
and,
I like his Putin. That looked good.
Is that?
Was that
John
Hamid
McClane?
Karzai before?
It looks like Flea on the bottom.
Are these people that like he had killed?
No, I don't
That's-
think so.
That's the guy that played Gandhi, right?
No, it's not Ben
No.
Kingsley.
It's Hamid Karzai, I believe.
That's so strange. So he just
Nice.
painted portraits of all the people that he's
He's a good portrait artist. He really is.
He's not terrible.
I like it.
But I will say, I read today that he's donating all proceeds for those pieces that he's made of
Let
veterans.
me guess, to Africa.
No, it goes to
to the veterans.
families of
Okay.
veterans and stuff.
That's
so
really. No, that's the thing. That's the thing people don't know is like
That's a Photoshop.
yeah, it is.
he legitimately.
What's that guy's name? The actual artist.
I don't know his name, but actually, me and Jake Hollier.
Yeah, you were telling me
yeah,
that.
we were lucky enough. Okay, so there's like a meme of a photo we're looking at of George W. Bush painting the guy that did the portraits, the outgoing portraits for Obama and his family. He's some kind of pop culture kind of artist. But me and Jake Hollier, we were doing a show out near San Antonio, and we had like a day to kill. And it was just me and him in the van, so we stopped in San Antonio and went to we just like drove by the Fine Art Museum of San Antonio.
Kehinde Wiley.
Yes, and we went in there, and he had an exhibit there, just happenstance, and it was just like really, it was outstanding. You know?
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 months later, he did those, and I was like, wow, I it's like
You saw his work.
you feel
yeah.
lucky. You know,
I love his
you
work
feel lucky to
so
see
much.
something like that in person, and then
I-
it becomes something. You know?
That's something that like I kind of do work. Yeah, I'm not going to compare myself to him whatsoever, but like he
Right,
has
right.
that same type of graphic element.
Yeah,
that
no,
I do.
you have a very. I was going to bring that up earlier. I didn't know his name, but your works more recently have that element to them, and I like that.
Thank you.
It's like because the one that I think of is the one I think you did for the art studio, which is like it's like a marble drawing
Oh yeah, yeah.
in the front, and then the background's like a paisley.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, you're talking about like the nymphs that are dancing type of thing.
kinda. It was
kinda
like a
looks like
white.
that,
It was like a
Yeah.
big outstanding graphic, I guess,
Right.
drawn piece, and
It's
then like
a-
a mixed material behind it. It
Yeah,
was really,
it's Cupid, and I can't remember the mortal's name in it.
Yeah, that was like my favorite.
yeah. I
Cupid
really
and the
like that.
mortal, whatever, and,
And it had that graphic.
it's black and white with like
There's a pop to it. It's 3D but
Yeah.
2D at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like different planes.
black and white over a really colorful background. Yeah,
It looked like a wallpaper look too on the back.
It might have been wallpaper, or I think it was actually wallpaper.
And you just colored it how you wanted it.
Yeah, I just painted over the top of it.
So it has a texture to it.
It does have a texture to it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it proves difficult to paint on.
I'm sure it did. It's very thin.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing with the mural is the fabric background. Well, actually, it also was wallpaper.
So wait, you put fabric down on that wall?
No.
Okay.
I painted a fabric pattern or a wallpaper pattern as the background.
When it was small.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's scaling it up now, right?
Well, no, it was actually painted on actual wallpaper, and now I'm having to replicate
Wallpaper
the wallpaper pattern
with paint.
Yeah, with paint. And
that sounds fun.
oh man, it is really cool to see the end product of it, but the hours going into that's work.
How many hours do you think you put into that?
I have
17 by 11, like
17 by 14.
17 by 14.
Yeah, I
Dude,
think
you were out there for days and days and days.
Oh, it's like I started in May, and I'm almost finished with it. I wish I could say I was.
This
but
is late December, so
yeah. And since I'm doing those mugs, like I'm trying to do those before Christmas.
Right.
But I want to finish the mural before New Year's.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be pressed for time, and I'm gonna be working a lot.
Yeah. But like 7-month turnaround for something that large that's not. I mean, it has detail to it. It's what is it? Those are cranes.
They're night herons.
Night herons.
Herons, yeah.
Yeah, they're. I think they're the. I believe I read that they're the largest local bird that we have in this area.
So that's a local species.
Yeah,
That's
I was
cool.
trying to highlight because it is a city project. I was trying to highlight local flora and fauna, like flora through the representation of the wallpaper background and the fauna through the birds.
Yeah.
And trying to show that there is this beauty that is already here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you
You just got to take a look.
you just got to go find it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, there's gonna be so many people taking selfies with these giant storks on this wall, but
Yeah,
it's something down the street.
yeah. They could go to
You can go take a selfie with a real one.
yeah, the Cattail Marshes over in Terrell Park.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Dude,
you
I
can just-
went there for the first time like 4 or 5 months ago. I had no idea it existed.
Dude, it is awesome.
Yeah.
Like you can
it's
see
like a little. You got to go a ways down, and it's off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah, you can see easily
Like 2 or 3
20
gators.
different species of birds within one look around you.
Well, this
And
this area
gators
is
everywhere.
renowned.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
area
yeah.
is world renowned for bird watching.
Oh yeah,
Because,
the Audubon Society is in Orange, Texas, and where he lived in Philly, where he grew up in Philly. Those two places are where it exists.
Yep.
And
Really?
yeah.
Well, they're
The Audubon Society is here because
Is Audubon named after a guy?
yeah, James Audubon.
No shit.
And they're in
Yeah.
those two places
Well, that's-
because this
that's-
is the stopping grounds from bird migration.
Yeah, this is
one of
the
them is here and
pause.
one of them's there.
Yeah. This is a big pause whenever they're coming over from South America or wherever.
Yeah. You can see all sorts of different creatures there. And
Yeah,
it
this has
is
always been a
awesome.
very big bird watching community. I guess that's why the what is that out in the orange? The preserve or
I can't
Shangri-La?
remember. Yeah, Shangri-La.
I mean, I guess that would make sense why they would be there because it's the diversity of this area.
yeah.
And people talk about it a lot, but nobody really goes out and enjoys it, I guess.
Actually, there was a good, a movie
Or not
that
too
came
many people
out
I know.
a few years ago. Let me try to find this because it's pretty funny. It's a Jack Black, Steve Martin, and Owen Wilson movie called
Okay.
The Big Year.
Yeah.
But they come down to this area to go bird watching together in the midst of their midlife crises.
Are you serious?
Yeah, or crises, or
I didn't
crises.
know that even existed.
They probably shot it in Florida or something.
Yeah,
They probably shot in Louisiana so they get the tax break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks the same.
I haven't seen it either, but I just heard of this movie the other day. My buddy Blake told me.
Yeah.
So how much would you say? We kind of covered some of your origins and the fantastical and things like that, and how that plays into your graphics work and stuff like that. But how much does nature come into play whenever you're thinking about new projects or things
a lot.
like that?
I like to mix nature and the absurd. I like.
So you like things that are kind of juxtaposed, like that's kind of that's your realm that you deal in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like natural
making
forms.
birds with
Yeah.
human hands and like an alligator with giraffe legs or something like that.
Oh, I got
That
you,
sounds
yeah.
pretty awesome.
I don't think I've drawn that yet, but
you will now.
that's the type of stuff that comes to me.
Well, I mean, where do you come up with the concepts? Do you just like, I mean, it just pops in your head one day and you just go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like, you know, those old like flip books where you would like have all the different heads in one section, all the different middle sections and all the different legs. I like just doing that in my brain.
So you put all the legs and everything, and then you put house on one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, way to reduce his flow.
No,
though.
it kind of reminds me of that. There was that meme where it's like it's like I don't know what the meme is, but it's like they have a head. They have a house for a head. God, what was the
I
pun?
know that meme.
I completely slipped on.
You
it.
didn't want to use this bottle
I
opener?
didn't see that. I just used my lighter.
It's
Pure
very
Vita, baby.
ergonomic for you, so if you open another one.
yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it really fits to my hand.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fits in somebody's hand.
Yeah.
I think it's a right-hander, but
Well, anyway, what about found art? Do you do any of that? Do you do any like you get inspiration from just something you might find on the street or something, or try to incorporate existing features and incorporate that in your art?
I would say I try to do that. I've gathered quite a collection of random junk that I have ideas for. Like,
For like 3D works?
Yeah, for like sculptural type shit. Like I've got a.
So
I have to have a studio space because
got you.
I have
Right.
so much junk that I've collected
'Cause
with
you're a
I think
hoarder.
ideas.
Kaylee, I remember Kaylee talking to us about that. Not on the podcast, but like I think at the bar we were talking about her art, and all her stuff has materials like dead
Right.
things, like you know, like cicada skins.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
love
And
her work, yeah.
and she said that she had like these organizers and drawers
Yeah.
of certain types of
carcasses.
carcasses.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, if you're working with that kind of medium, you really have to collect a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I actually am.
You probably collect frames.
I
Yeah.
collect so many frames.
I've been to your space. I've been to your.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I've went
Oh
upstairs.
yeah, you did. Yeah,
I went upstairs to the art studio. I've been to your
Yeah,
space.
I forgot.
It's
I've
a
got
good
that
little
picture of
area.
you and Jody laying on the shelves.
That's right. Yeah, we were just chilling, doing whatever. Yeah.
It looks like a bunk, like that you would find in like Soviet Russia in the
Yeah.
gulags.
That's for sure. Well, I mean, that's basically what me and Jody do all day. We just pretend we're Slobs.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Jody's got the tracksuit to prove it.
he's got it.
I have a tracksuit. I should have worn my
We should have a
tracksuit.
Slav party.
Dude,
I kinda wanna do a
yeah.
Let's
Slob
do
night
that.
at the Thirsties.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We can play some high speed like.
I only
No,
have
let's just
a
do it at the
Puma
art studio.
tracksuit though.
Let's do it at the art studio.
That's kind of insensitive though, right?
Is it?
No, why is that insensitive?
Because Slobs is that's a race of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they're the ones that started that meme.
Right. It's only insensitive if they take offense, but they love it. Like they love that everyone gets enjoyment out of it. You know,
It's just vodka's cheap, you know.
I mean,
We
they
do
lean
vodka.
into
Some
it.
Popov or Taka,
Yeah, we'll bring some
Oh,
cigarettes.
hell
You know?
yeah.
Somebody bring like a carton and.
some Camel Reds, spelled with a K.
No, it has to be the cheapest cigarettes you can get. Right? That's
I'll bring my
song.
war surplus tank.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it'd be good. All right. Anyway, serious question though. But so, how much does it affect your artwork having that space in the art studio? Does it keep you working more than you would if you were working out of your own
Oh,
space?
definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I have to budget for that, and so, like,
Is it expensive?
I mean, it's. I
Well,
mean,
you have to weigh your income with the worth of having it, so you have to get worth out of it.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's like $85 a month
Okay.
or something like that. Like, it's.
So it's expensive for a poor artist, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, starving artist is
Yeah.
a term for a reason.
right. But it's reasonable. That's good.
Actually, I went to the Contemporary Art Museum in Houston a couple of weeks ago. They had this exhibit on artists confronting the justice system, and one of the first graphics that you see in there is a chart that tracks income inequality, art sales, and minority arrests. And all three of those are corollary in the graph.
They all follow the same graph.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah, which means I'm at a good time to be an artist, but that means everything else is going to shit. So good for me.
I think good for all of us.
That's a good way to look at it too, for sure.
Like seriously, go check out that exhibit if you find some time to. They're always free. They do take donations, but go check them out. Like it is an excellent exhibit.
Where is it?
Yeah, which museum?
The Contemporary Art Museum in Houston.
Okay, I've been there.
It's just down the street from the MF Museum of Fine Arts Houston.
Yeah, it's like around the corner, right?
Yeah.
I remember going there as a kid. I really liked it. There was all these crazy exhibits.
Oh yeah.
There was this one exhibit that really left an impression on me because it was at a time where I was like really figuring out like what was art and what constituted as art. And I think I got sort of the beginnings of my theory of what is art. Like probably at that museum, I was a big museum kid and I went and when I went the first time, they had this big sort of piece that was like right in the entrance foyer, and it was like a large bed, like as big as this room we're in now, but flat, and it rose up to about midsection height, and it was a table with deep mud on it, like quicksand, and then I guess underneath in there were certain like jets that were like releasing air, so it had bubbles come up, and the bubbles were carrying like sound with them, so it made music through this like sort of oatmeal-y looking.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like mud, you know. So it would like one would pop off here and one would pop off there, and all over the place. Like it would you hear like bing bong like as
that sounds badass.
It was really cool, and I remember like talking to my dad and being like, I was like, what's this in here for? This is like really cool. Like this just looks like science. It's like it's not science, it's art. And at the time, I was like thinking, you know, I didn't understand that things like overlapped and all that. I thought art was like sculptures and paintings. And it led for me to, you know, further down in the road, just realize that art equals intent. You know, like that's what I think art is. But
yeah, well, I mean, science can be art. I mean, graphs and everything, you can turn those into art. I mean, I think even
if you had a Venn diagram of art and science, there would be some crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's definitely crossover.
Working with chemicals and structures.
Yeah. It's really cool. I wonder, I don't know, do you think this next generation is going to museums as much as we did? I'm sure you went to museums a lot, Zach.
Hey, I'm a member
Yeah.
of the Houston Museum of Fine Arts.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'd need
Yeah,
to
they
be.
get you get like
It's like $20 a year or something.
no, it's a little bit more than that, but like I think it's like $40. But like every time you go,
You get like a tote or something.
well, no, every time you go, it's like $10+, especially if you want to go to the special exhibits.
Right.
So if you go at least 4 times a year to the museum, you might as well be a member.
Absolutely.
Like it pays for itself if you find yourself there.
Plus you get
often.
benefits too. I think you get first call on tickets for special events.
Yeah, you do, and they also have
updated.
special parties for members at certain times a year. Like it's a pretty sweet deal.
And I'm sure you find that almost necessary to have to go.
Oh yeah,
you have to go where the art is. You have to have constant
We have to see what's
stimulation.
happening and
right.
Yeah, it's not happening here. I mean, well, actually, no, it's getting better
well,
here.
We're talking about the music scene hasn't been doing too great.
But the
around
art
here,
scene,
but the art
like,
scene has been taking off.
For the first time that I've ever seen, every single space in the art studio is filled up with artists, and people are doing shit all the time. Mm-hmm. Like the holiday sale that they had the other weekend. There were so many vendors in there. It was incredible. Yeah. There wasn't a great like crowd showing up for it, which I think is the drawback, because there's like, as talented as we are and as active as we are still not receiving the customer base.
Yeah, you want like a bunch of people.
But you're talking about like walk-ins and things like that too.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that coin too, now with you guys, with any artist, with graphic, with 3D model, anything, there's so many avenues like for you to take to actually make money now. You can you can have Etsy, you can make your own e-commerce store. You can get like in line with somebody that's buying corporate art.
Well,
There's
I mean, we
so
talked
many
about before we
avenues.
started. You told us about the Shiflett brothers. I had no idea who these guys were.
Yeah,
and they're guys that are making these like really high value
since 91 apparently.
Fantasy sculptures, and they live in Mid-County.
Yeah.
Right, and they don't have walk-in businesses. I'm sure they don't have like a gallery where yes, let me see this Conan the
It's
Barbarian.
because their market's not here.
Yes, right. But that's going back to my broader point is that even though you guys, so there's more of you guys, and you guys are constantly tooling out artwork, I would not get discouraged by, a toning down of like.
Oh no!
walk-in,
You got to figure out the market. You got to know how to sell yourself.
and you can make your own market too.
Yeah, like that's kind of why I'm doing the mugs on mugs things. I don't usually work that small.
Yeah.
But hey, $25 for a small thing like that, like that's personalized, it sells. So why not
that's
do
the
it?
thing. It's like people want, like people like the idea of buying art and all that, but
Yeah.
it's like usually you're faced with it's going to be $80
Well,
to
look
$100.
right there. Zach, grab that.
What?
Zach, grab that pop.
Yeah, I should. Yeah.
Oh, you already seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's another friend that we have that he's basically making his own market too. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Custom pops.
But other than besides creating my own market, like for a specialty item, like if you're looking at the broader art world, you do have to go to places like Houston. You do have to keep up with what's going on.
Well, I would think for you visiting the museums, and especially the contemporary museums, seeing what's going on now, it's a form of like keeping up on what's happening.
Oh yeah,
because you might draw inspiration, like maybe. You see the same things, you get inspiration from the same things. Maybe something new comes out that makes you look at it a different way.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can be part of this new movement.
Something like I pride myself on being able to make something pretty. But what I really want to do in my life is make something that says something.
Yeah.
And at this point in my life, I haven't found my way to say something through my art, rather than just show you something pretty.
Yeah.
And that's why I go to Houston and check out these exhibits all the time. You're
still trying to find... You've just been constantly looking for a way to find your voice.
Yeah. And
without having to explain it every time.
I found my avenue.
Yeah.
Like, I know like the way that I would do it in, but I don't have the content that I want to create at this point. And one of these days I'll get there, but like until then I'm just going to be working on the practice of it.
Yeah. Well, everything's practice. The mugs on mugs.
Oh yeah, dude.
You're not making it's not getting you rich, but this is good practice.
Yeah. Yeah. My email is topherpresley1108@gmail.com if you want to send me a message about getting one of these mugs.
Are you also on the social media where people
I am on Facebook.
Message you?
Yeah, my name's Chris Presley. Just find me on there. I don't have like a special artist page.
Yeah, Instagram
or
as well, right?
I have Instagram as well.
I would hope so as an artist.
Oh, definitely.
Do you want to? I guess we'll put all your links in the show notes.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like yeah.
And if you just want to talk shit and not buy any art from them,
yeah, that works too. I'll talk some shit back. If you want.
If you want to talk politics with him, he'll go with you.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. You don't want to get me started on politics.
No, we won't. We're not going to get you started in this episode, but
for sure. Right. Well, I guess that's a good ending to it.
I think so.
That was a nice little romp.
Yeah.
Let's put a bow on it, like you put a bow on this mug.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
It's because I appreciate all the things you do for me.
All right. Well, you know what I appreciate? I appreciate Chris Presley making our community a better place with these murals.
Yes, absolutely.
Making our environment a better place with his artwork, and for being a member of the art studio.
Well, thank you guys. You guys are helping this area by like letting people know about shit going on.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Yeah, we just do our best, just like you.
Sorry I curse so much.
No, absolutely. The thing is we're not beholden to anybody, and if somebody wants to listen to you, then why would they want to listen to like a false representation?
Yeah,
if you
curse
in real life, then curse on here.
Yeah,
because let's not put on airs.
No, I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you guys.
Thank you for the art that you gave us. That was really sweet. Really, we needed to spice this place. We need to class this place up.
We need to class it up a bit.
Well, you got this room covered, it looks like.
Let's get in there.
So is this whole space yours?
No, it's
just this room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
this room. We got plenty of room for expansion if anybody wants to come do podcasts.
That's true.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, whatever.
We're creating the podcast studio.
Nice.
Yes. So, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.
Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand.
Thanks, Chris, man. Thanks for coming on the show, doing the dang thing. And for everybody else, go check out his mural. It'll take 5 minutes out of your day to drive downtown and appreciate some art.
Yes. Special shout out to our patrons, Jordan Stringer, Lance Killian, Brian Castino, Doug Waldrop. Doug, thank you so much for sending me messages and letting me know that you're listening to the episodes, and you always give me some pretty cool feedback, so it's much appreciated. Also, Michael Sarr and Ben McClelland. If you're interested in becoming a patron, head on over to patreon.com/A2ZBNT.
You'll get a special shout out at the end of the episodes like those guys did. Next episode is going to feature Sarah Bellion and Allison Tartar.
Which was a lovely surprise for the both of us.
It really
'cause
was.
We were supposed to just be interviewing Sarah before she ran off to Hawaii, but then she brought one of our other favorite science ladies, Allison Tartar. So
those are two return guests, and they're two of our favorite guests. So
yeah, two of our favorite guests. That we had so much fun talking to them. And
it was a blast.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good episode. If you have a guest or you think you would be a good guest, hit us up, talk to us. We're really easy to get a hold of. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, our email, anything like that. We want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. If you have any ideas for us, then send them our way.
And last but not least, if you enjoyed this episode, and if you're listening here, like if you haven't turned this off yet, I know you have, leave a like, leave a comment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really glad that a lot of you guys come up to me in person and say, hey, I'm glad you guys are doing this, like keep it up and stuff like that. But, you know, for optics' sake, it would really help us out a lot if it would help the channel out. It would help out
what we're trying to do for the community.
It would help us out a lot if, you know, you would just leave a like and a comment and stuff like that. You know, the algorithm and all. That's what I'm saying.
Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just
saying.
Just saying. I'm gonna fade the music up here. So
help us out with the algorithm a little bit.
Oh man.